tutorial on how I did these no heat overnight beachy type waves in my hair. Now I will warn you, the video clips are a little bit all over the place because I filmed it this morning when I was up at the lake, and I have now come back for the day to run some errands at home before heading back to the lake. So you're going to see video clips from here, there, and probably back here again. The reason I'm doing this tutorial is because I have extremely thin hair and I've struggled to find a way to get my hair to do those bigger type beachy waves without it being those tiny little zigzag waves. So I was trying to figure out a way to make my beachy waves bigger with the limited amount of hair that I had. So I ended up using some of the clip-in extensions that I already had on hand. So I will warn you in advance, this video incorporates clip-in extensions. However, if you had something like maybe small towels or scarves or things of that nature, you could substitute it to make the big waves in your hair and then just take it out afterwards. I like the idea of adding in my clip-in extensions because then when I was done the process, I also had the extensions in the same wave pattern as I had in my hair. So if I wanted extra hair, I could just clip them in. Like I said, this method requires no heat and it's an overnight process. So you just kind of sleep on it and you wake up with this hair, which is nice. It really doesn't require any products at all. However, if you want to put in mousse ahead of time or a spray like this is a Beach hairspray, you can put that in and it will give you some extra hold. Same thing as when you take it out. If you want it to stay a little bit longer, you could use a hairspray, but honestly mine stays just fine on its own. And lastly, you'll have to know how to French braid. Now I don't think in this tutorial you're going to see well enough exactly how I am French braiding, so if you're not comfortable with French braiding, definitely check out another video tutorial on how exactly French braiding works, and then you can just incorporate the technique I use to get these beachy waves. Okay, so I just sectioned my hair off into 3 sections. I just had a shower and let my hair dry to about 80% dry, so it's still a little bit damp. Next, I'm taking my clip-in extensions and laying them over top of the 3 sections I made, and then I'm just going to incorporate those into the start of the braid. So I'm going to section off the extensions with the 3 sections that I just made, so I end up with 3 sections of hair. If you don't have clip-in extensions or don't want to use them, you could use like 3 scarves or 3 towels, just something to make your braid a little bit thicker. Now I'm going to start French braiding. The start of it is a little bit tricky because I have the extensions in my hands as well, but it doesn't really matter how messy it ends up being, so as long as you get it started, you'll be fine. So I started a braid, I'm taking a section, adding it to the outside part of the braid and bringing it over to the middle. And again on the other side, just grabbing a section and adding it into my braid. This is just a standard French braid, there's nothing special to it, it just looks a little bit silly because I have my extensions braided in with it. I ended up spraying my hair ahead of time with the Beach spray just because I like that it gives my hair a little bit more hold and I like the texture it leaves my hair after it's dry, but I've done this before without adding anything into my hair at all and it crimps just fine. Once you get the last sections of hair in, you're just going to braid down to the end just like a regular braid. I try not to pull too tight because again I want the bigger waves wherever possible. And then I'm just going to secure it at the bottom with an elastic. Alright, and here is the finished result. As you can see, it's not a perfect braid by any means, but it doesn't matter because it all blends together in the end. And it looks a little bit silly with my extensions in it, but it does the job. Alright, and now we're at the next morning, and I'm just going to take out my hair. Because I let it dry 80% before I did the braid, it is totally dry now that I'm taking it out. As you can see, my hair has now got beautiful little waves in it, and the cool part is that my extensions now have exactly the same wave pattern as my hair. So if I'm feeling like I want a little bit extra hair, I can just clip them in. If you ended up using scarves, towels, or other things, you'll just put those to the side and you should end up with bigger, fuller waves in your hair now. Now what I'm going to do is just pull apart some of the waves for a little bit more fullness and then add a little bit of hairspray, and I like to pin the top because I like the way it looks. And here's the finished result. It really didn't take me any effort at all. It took 2 seconds to pin it back and pull some of the little waves apart, and I'm left with beautiful, bigger, beachy waves. And because I slept in it all night long, these waves hold up so well that I can wear this hairstyle the next day with no problem. Alright, so that's about it. I hope you guys got a good enough view to see exactly what it was I was doing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. And this hair holds up so well. I actually went jet skiing this morning before I got home, and my hair was blowing in the wind, and it's still pretty much the way it was this morning, so it hasn't changed at all. So it's one of those easy hairstyles where you can just wake up in the morning, your hair's already done, and it's going to stay that way, so I love that. It's also a great method for those of us who suffer with really thin hair. So I think that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
I wanna run to you and get away. I wanna hide with you, but I can't escape.